Hi guys, today we're going to look at calculating the mean, the median and the mode from a table of values. So our example says the scores of the players in a 9-hole golf competition were sorted into the frequency table. How many players were there? So to figure this out, what we need to do is total the frequency column. Because if you think about it, score 37 having a frequency of 2 means that you've got two scores and they're both 37. So if we add up those scores, this is the symbol for total of the frequency column. We get 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 1, and that gives us a total of 18, which means there were 18 players in the 9-hole golf competition. Okay, so our next part that we need to do is to calculate the mean from the table. If you have a look at the table here, it's been copied for you. We've got score, frequency, and we've added a new column called the F times X column. What this column does is it subtotals all of your scores, because if you think about it, when we calculate the mean, we need to add up all the scores. So to do this, we multiply the score column by the frequency, and that's how we get the subtotals of our FX column. So 38 times 4 gives us 152, and so on. Now when we total that column, that is the same as adding all the scores together, and that gives us this total of 700. Now normally we divide by the number of scores. If you think about that, the number of scores is the same as the total of the frequency column, which is, we already calculated, is 18. Now dividing those, the total of the FX column divided by the total of the frequency column will give us a mean of 38.8 repeater, and then rounding that off to the nearest one decimal place gives us 38.9. So that's the mean or the average of those scores. Another way you can do it is the way I showed you by entering the numbers into the calculator one by one. You would enter the score columns, the score numbers in the first column, and then on your calculator you would enter the frequency numbers, and you would follow the directions to calculate the mean, and it will do it for you. Now the mode is the most frequent or most popular score. So we look down the frequency column for the highest number, not including the total, and you'll see that's number 7 there. Go across to the score column, and that will give you the mode. So the mode is 39. The last thing we were asked to calculate was the median. Now that's a little bit tricky. To calculate the median, we need to look at the number of scores, so that would be 18, and we need to get the middle score. When you have an even number of scores, you halve that number, so that gives us 9 and the 10th score, and we need to get the average of the 9th and the 10th scores. Now the easiest way to do that is to add a new column called the cumulative frequency column. What this column does is it adds up the frequency column. So our first number in the frequency column is a 2. We transfer that into the cumulative frequency column. Then we add the next number in, a 4, and that gives us a total of 6. Adding in the 7 gives us a 13, and so on. So we're looking for where the 9th and the 10th scores are. My first 6 numbers are taken up with the score 37 and 38. That means the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11, right up to score 13 is number 39. And that means the median is 39. The other way you can do it is to write down the 9th and the 10th scores and add them together, divide them by 2, and of course that's going to give us 39. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is have a go at exercise 806, questions 1, 3, 4 and 6, and I've also written that on Compass.